Hello, David here with Enertechnix, and today I'm going to go over Digital Camera Viewer version 3.0. Let's jump right into the interface. You'll see on the left side here we've got the available camera list, and now this is a list that shows all of the available cameras that are found on your network. The program will periodically scan your network once every 15 seconds to try and identify new cameras, and when it finds them, it'll populate that list. Now right above this, we have the live camera IP address input. This input was for the camera you'd like to view, so ideally you would select the IP address of the camera off of the available cameras list and input it into that control. Once you have it input in there, you can either hit enter or the connect button and it should connect automatically. Moving to the right, you'll see we have several buttons that perform our recording and image capture. The record button will record video for as long as it's enabled. The record segments button performs a timed recording sequence that's defined in the settings that we'll go over here in a few minutes. The snapshot button simply takes a snapshot of the live image. The auto snap button will take a timed snapshot at intervals that we define in the settings, which we'll go over here again in a few minutes. The full screen button will bring up a window that displays only the image in it, and to get out of this you simply click anywhere on the image. We also can change whether the aspect ratio is corrected or not in the settings file, which we'll cover here in a few seconds. At the bottom we also have the exit button, which simply exits out of the program. And finally we have our settings button, which will take us to the settings menu. So let's go ahead and bring up the settings page. You'll notice the window is movable here, so you can shift it out of the way if you want to look at the live image while you're configuring things. We have three different tabs. We're going to start with the live image. You'll notice we have a couple indicators here. The first one being camera link, which is lit up green right now. That'll be red if there's ever a connection error with the camera that you're looking at. We also have the live frame rate down below that. And to our left, we have the option to enable digital zoom. This is much like any other digital zoom. You have the option to zoom in or out, to pan and tilt as well. And then in the bottom left, we have the option to colorize the video. It can be either enabled or disabled. And then next to that, we have the aspect ratio correction. Now this is what I was talking about earlier with the full screen. So if you have it selected to auto and hit the full screen button, it'll essentially just take up the entire screen. The 4:3 will leave it with the corrected aspect ratio. Next, we have the image manipulation control. And when this is enabled, it allows you to adjust the brightness, the contrast, the gamma, as well as enabling the histogram equalization function and to include frame averaging on the live image. Moving on to the video capture tab, we first have the videos file path, which will take us to the path where we want to store the video files that we record. Right now there's nothing there. I'll do a quick little demonstration on how to record a video. We'll go ahead and record for a few seconds. And once that's done, we can navigate back to the settings page. And we can open up the folder by clicking up that Open Recordings folder, and we can view the video. Below that, we have the snapshots file path, which is the same type of thing, it's just for the snapshots. And then below that, we have the video codecs. Now this really shouldn't be changed, it's essentially just the compression that we're using to record the videos. Below that, we have the clip duration and record interval controls. These determine the length of the videos recorded with record segments as well as the intervals. In the example shown here, we're recording a 10-second clip every 10 minutes. Below that, we have our auto snapshot control, which determines the amount of time in between each automatic snapshot when auto snap is enabled. Next to that, we have our frames to average. Now this control affects how many frames we're averaging at a time on the live image when frame averaging is enabled. Next to that, we have our max percent of size and percent reduced to controls. Now these just affect hard drive size and space management. So ideally you would not manipulate these. Moving on to our digital outputs tab. Now this is only relevant if you're using the remote iris focus hardware, so if you do not have that, you can ignore this section. If all the controls are grayed out and disabled, you will need to first enable digital outputs using that control on the bottom right. Once that's enabled, you will have the option to assign the digital output module IP address, the steps per signal, as well as a status indicator, which will tell you whether or not the digital output module is connected correctly. And below all that, we have the actual controls, which will move the iris in focus. And these are also hotkeyed to the F1 through 4 keys on the top of your keyboard. And that pretty much wraps up the entire settings section of this. Now, I would like to also mention that if you go to the help icon, you'll see the option to open up the manual, and it should just open up the PDF live right there. We also have our contact information listed there, as well as the version number of the software. That pretty much wraps it up for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, please let us know. You can reach us at support@enertechnix.com or visit our website for more in-depth contact information. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.